take it off of that. So on this one, we have x to the negative 6, and the answer was 1 over x to the 6th power. So all I need to do is move it. So if I flip my page over, what do I got to do with the next one on there? It says simplify the expression using the properties of exponents. So what has to happen to it? 1 over negative 5 squared, or what's that equal to? 1 over 25. Yep. And what about 53? Simplify the expression using the properties of exponents as well. So what do I have to do with this thing? So I have 2, what was it? Negative 6 to the 2nd power. And then what? B to the, oh, 3rd, yes. B to the 6th. So what's a negative 6 to the 3rd power? Negative.
Now why is it b to the 6th?
Because it's 3 times 2.
Oh, it's times. I thought you had.
No, it's a distribution in there, so it's 3 to the, it's 2 to the 3rd power. So it's to the other, what was it? 216? Okay. B to the 6th. But then finally I need to multiply that by 2. So my true final answer is a negative 432, right?
Yeah.
B to the 6th. Yep. Okay. Now, if you've got one of these varieties of problems right here, that means you got a variety or a problem similar to that. Where? Where are you going to see one similar to this? In your final exam, right?
How many questions is there final?
45 questions.
Okay, so this is a little bit more extensive than our final.
What was that? Similar? It's got more problems in it than your final. Yep. How about the next one? 54. What do we have to do to it?
You have to square everything in the parentheses.
Okay, so I need to square my 5. I need to square my a squared. What does that give me if I square my a squared?
A to the 4th.
Okay, if I square my b squared, I get b to the 4th. But I can't leave it like this because...
1 times a to the 4th over b to the 4th.
Yep. Perfect. How about this one?
Square everything in parentheses.
So 4 squared, a squared, yep, all over b to the 4th.
And now you add, hold on.
Oh, but we got to go back up and fix the top one. Or no, we don't have to fix that one. We have to fix this one, though. What can I do with this thing?
16a squared.
You can cancel.
16a squared?
Yeah.
But what about these b to the 4th?
Cancel.
They cancel. So my final answer is just 16a squared for that one. And number 56. What has to happen to 56?
You gotta flip it.
Flip it?
Yeah, don't you flip it
So
first?
why do the negative 2 to the bottom? Make it positive.
So we need to have 2 cubed, x to the 9th, y to the negative 6, all over y to the 6th. But this has got to go to the bottom. So you have 2 to the 3rd, x to the 9th, over y to the 6th, and a y to the 6th. So my final answer? What's my final answer?
8x to the 9.
All over?
Y to the
Y to the
12.
12.
Yes. Yeah. Now, because there were 3 of these type of problems, that means there's one like that on your exam. Okay? So there's one that's similar to this whole thing on your exam that you have. Okay, 57. Nope. You got to read your directions. Perform the indicated operation by removing the parentheses and combining like terms. So I've got a subtraction. So what has to happen? 2x minus 5 minus
Plus 6.
plus 6.
You have to switch the signs.
Okay. Then I need to combine them together. So 2x minus 8x is negative 5 and a positive 6. Plus 1? Yep, and that'll be my answer. These other two are just like it, so I'm going to leave those for you, 58 and 59. Oh, 59 is an addition. Do I have to do anything different if it's an addition? The addition is just that you're going to remove your parentheses and combine your like stuff together. And 60 is also an addition. So that one's left for you to do. 61. What's 61? What do I got to do to it?
Polynomial
Yeah?
using distributive property. So you go negative 2 times 4x squared, negative 2 times x, and negative 2 times 1.
Okay, what's the answer going to be?
Negative 2 times 4x is positive 8x squared.
Yep.
Negative 2 times x is minus 2x.
Yes?
Negative 2 times 1 is negative 1.
Negative
Or
2. Yes.
I do that
Yep.
sometimes. Stupid mistakes like that. You just
You get going and you forget what you're doing.
Right? It's just dumb
62 is yours. 63. What do we got to do with 63?
Polynomials. So you go 2x times 2x, 2x times 3, 6 times 2x, 6 times 3.
Okay.
So
2x times 2x is,
4x squared.
okay.
Times
2x.
3 is 6x. 6 times 2 is 12x.
No. Oh, yeah, 12x. Thank you.
6 times 3 is 18.
Yep. So my true answer with this one, whoops, if I get it down here.
You gotta combine like terms now.
Yep. So I have 4x squared plus 18x
Plus 18.
plus 18. Yep. Okay. Next one's like it, so I'm not going to do that one either. Then we got a division. What happens in a division? It's been a while since we did a division.
You divide each term by the bottom.
Nope, can't do that with this one.
You have, on the outside you have n minus 1,
Oh,
Okay?
and then you have the, yeah,
Divides into
cube plus 2n minus 3.
to m cubed, yeah? But what do I have to have? I can't just leave that as writing down there because I got something missing.
Plus
Remember,
x
don't
squared
forget your plus 0x squared.
plus 2n minus 3.
Oh, this is an m, sorry. 2m minus 3. That should be an m squared.
And then for n cubed you have to have n squared.
Yep. M squared times m is
N cubed.
m cubed. M squared times a negative 1.
minus.
Yeah, minus m squared.
Okay, now what?
Well,
The
you have
m?
to make the, yeah, you have to make the m cubed negative.
And
That part,
M
the m
squared
squared
positive.
positive.
okay, so what do I got to do to m to make it look like an m squared?
Times it by m.
What kind of m?
Positive.
Yep. Positive m times m.
Which 1m.
Positive m times a negative 1.
Negative 1m.
You
Okay.
have to make the m squared minus, yeah, positive.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Well, what do I have to do to m to make it look like a 3m?
Times it by 3.
Times it by 3.
Positive 3.
And 3 times m is 3m.
3 times.
3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Change my signs. Don't forget to change your signs, you get 0. Okay. Alright. So the answer on this one was m squared plus m plus 3. And this other one's yours to do, 96, or 66 I should say, is all yours. Then we're into chapter 6, which we just finished reviewing in chapter 6. So, what has to happen to this one? So this is again a good review for your chapter 6 test coming up. So what do you have to do with that one?
I don't know.
Don't know what to do with that one?
You pull out a Y and an X.
No, X and a Y, yeah.
Yep, pull out an X, pull out a Y, and what am I left with?
Terms.
I'm left with X squared
Plus 5y squared
plus 35, right. Factorable? Can you do anything else to it?
That's it.
That's all you can do. Yep, you can't do anything else to that one. And the next one? Factor the given polynomial, find the greatest common factor. Or common monomial factor.
Pull out an
Rewrite
X.
it.
Pull out a Y squared. A Y
Okay.
cubed, actually.
Can I get y cubed out of there?
Yeah.
Yes. Can I get any numbers?
5, 1 and 5, 2 and 5.
Pull out a 5. So what's left under here? Can I pull out an x?
No.
I
Last term does not
cannot
have
remove an x. Nope. I don't have an x over here, so I can't pull out an x. So then what do I end up with? X squared.
2x. Y to the second power.
Y to the single power, one power, the first power, yep. And then what?
Plus 3y. Those y's, yeah, disappears.
That's all I can have. Can I do anything else with that one?
No.
No. Okay. Factor your trinomial. And these should be familiar because we just got done doing some of these guys. So what does that factor to?
X and X. And 1 times 4 equals 13.
So two positives we know because they're all positive in there. And factors of 40. That little piece. 8 and 5? Yep. And that one's left for you to factor. This one? 8y squared minus 35y minus 9. What in the world can we do with that one? Can't pull anything out.
More y. No, you can't.
Can't pull anything out.
Just split the 8.
8y squared minus 34y minus 9. So all I can do is multiply first term times last.
Oh, so you gotta split that center term.
So negative 72y squared. And I need a negative 34y when I add those things together. So what is going to happen to this? Oh, I gotta get focused. Okay. What's going to happen to that? What are factors of 72 that give me 34? Negative 34.
Calculate.
Yep. Calculator time.
They're both gonna be negative, so.
I think it's... So 72 divided by 1, that's not going to help me out. 72 divided by 2, that gives me 36. Yeah, it is. Right there. 2 and 36. Because, remember, this is negative. This 72 is negative. So your 36y is going to be negative, and your 2y is going to be positive. Replace your middles.
It's gotta be 2.
And what can I take out of the first piece? 8 and 36. I group it in 2's. What can I pull out? I pull out of this thing a 4 and a y. That leaves me with 2y minus 9. And what can I pull out of the second one? If you can't pull anything out, you can always pull out a 1. They both match. So I end up with that for my answer. So it's 2y minus 9 times 4y plus 1. And we'll leave the next one for you to factor. And 73, what about it? Does it factor? Yeah, perfect squares everywhere. So, because it's perfect squares everywhere, I can have a 4x and a 4x. And what's the end going to be? 3y and a 3y. And signs. One's positive, one's negative. Perfect. Yep. And that one, we're going to leave that for you. So 74 ends up being one you guys can do. And then we got this quadratic thing here. My paper's down here. It says, consider the following quadratic. Step 1, using the standard form of the quadratic equation above, factor the left-hand side of the equation into 2 linear factors. So, what do we have to do? X squared plus 7x plus 6 equals 0. Then do I have to factor it there? Yeah, I think I do, because I need to come up with what I solve the quadratic equation above by factoring. So now I get step 2. So what does this factor to? X and an X. 6 and 1. What signs? Both are positives. But because it's a quadratic, I need to take x plus 6, set equal to 0, and find x is a negative 6. Yep, x equals a negative 1. Yep. And 76 is just solve it. I think you can do that one. We'll leave that one for you guys. 77, there's some of those lovely story problem thingies. It says one positive number is 3 more than twice another. If their product is 1,430, find the numbers. So what has to happen to this thing? First we need our 2 numbers. So what's our 2 numbers? X and what's the other one? X plus 3. One positive number is 3 more than twice another. What does that mean? I got my 1 number, so I need a 2 there somewhere, don't I? Because I got twice. So I need a 2 right there. And then it says their product, so that means x times 2x plus 3 is equal to 1,430. So x times 2 is 2x, x times 3 is 3x. This is a squared. Move my 1430 over. And this is where you get some pretty big numbers. And so now we gotta see if I can't factor 2 out because I can't take it out of 3. So now I need to take 1430 and see if I can come up with a positive 3 in the middle. So I need something big to go in here. So we're going to divide it by 40. See what happens. No, that doesn't go in there evenly. Divide it by 38. That doesn't go in there evenly.
55 and 26 is what I got.
What'd you get? 55?
55 and 26.
Oh, but I can't because I don't get 3 out of it if I subtract those. Okay, remember you need a 3 in there. So we got to start getting something a little closer together in there of what we've got. So 42. That one's a tough one. It's got quite a bit of things in there.
On the answer sheet, it says 26 and 55.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because we got to do this 2 double thing here. I forgot to do that part to it. Yep. That's true. 2 times this is a negative. I mean, actually should be checking 2860 instead. So things that multiply, they give me this, but add to give me 3x in the middle. What'd you say you had?
26 and 55.
Yep, that's not going to give me my 3x, though, in my center. That's after you've...
On the answer sheet.
I know, but we got to work it to get to that answer. But we got to still get 3 in the middle to get my answer to this one. So we still got to take 2860, divide it by... That's the tough ones when they give you such big numbers in here. Well, I got 65 and 44, but that's not giving me 3. And again, this one's a big trial and error thing here. 52 and 55. 52 and 55. 52 is going to be negative and 55 is going to be positive. So that's my 2 middle pieces. So when I stick them in the center, 2x squared minus 52x plus 55x minus 2860, and I group in 2's, pull out a 2 and an x, leaves me with x minus 26. Over here, pull out a 55. So I get x minus 26 is equal to 0. And 2x plus 55 is equal to 0. Add 26. Subtract 55. And that one's a pretty nasty problem. Divide by 2. X equals a negative 55 divided by 2. And so I have 2 answers in there, but what did it say here with my, back to my story problem? A positive number, so the 55 halves is negative, the 26 is positive, so my answer is 26. 2 times 26 is 52, plus 3 is 55. So that's where they came up with both of those. So it's a long, drawn-out check, try, and find what we need to have for our answers with that one. Another one, let's see, that was this one. Product of 2 consecutive integers is 210. So what do they mean by 2 consecutive integers? What does that piece mean for us? These story problems are... So our 2 answers are x and x plus 1. And the product, so that means I need to multiply x times x plus 1 equals 210. X squared plus x minus 210 is equal to 0, and that factors. So now we're back to factoring 210 and dividing it by 21. If I divide it by 21, I don't get 1 in there. So 210 divided by 25? Nope.
14 and 15.
14? Okay, yeah. X plus 14 and x plus 15. And so I want the two consecutive numbers, so set x plus 14 is equal to 0 and x plus 15 is equal to 0, and end up solving that one, finding out that x is a negative 14 and x is a negative 15. So I've got my two integers. X is a negative 14. The other one would be a negative 13. If x is a negative 15, then the other is a negative 14. So that's my possibilities with that one. And then there's a bunch of other ones in here that go along with that same type of stuff. The length of a rectangle is 6 times the width. So in that case, you've got length is 6w, and w is w. And if you're looking at area, it's going to be 6w times w equals 96. So that comes out to be 6w squared equals 96. Pull out 6w squared minus 96. I don't think we can take a 6 out of there. Nope. What was that?
Oh, I was.
You have a question?
Well, because it's got like the 6w squared.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to figure out how would you, cause like, would you just? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's your length is 6w because it's 6 times the width, and your width is w. This means I can factor out a 6 out of here and end up with w squared minus 16. And factor this gives me w minus 4 and w plus 4. One comes out to be positive, the other is negative, so w would equal 4. And 6 times w would be 24. So my two answers would be 4 and 24. And 81 is just like it. And 82 is a theater one, and I think we did theater ones at one other time with those. These last ones in here, it says chapter 7. But chapter 7 has proportions, and one of your questions on your exam is a proportion. And how you solve these is it's 9 times 27 is equal to 3 times x. And so then 9 times 27, that equals 243. And all you basically do is solve for x, so divide by 3. And you find that 243 divided by 3 is 81. So x is equal to 81. And this one, same thing, 222 times 34 is equal to x times 204. So 222 times 34. Divide that by 204. And we find x is equal to 37 with that one. And a story problem with proportions. It says John is investing his money. He thinks that he should make $13 for every $100 he invests. So 13 over 100. How much does he expect to make on an investment of $5,400? Yeah, x over 5,400. And so it's 13 times 5,400 is equal to 100 times x. So 13 times 5,400 divided by 100.
Oh, divided by 100?
Yep, $702 is what he's expecting to make.
Right?
Yep. Yep, 702. You probably like a whole exam full of these, because they're pretty easy. And the last one, 86. It says Diane is investing her money. If we get it on the screen where you can see it. She thinks that she should make $16 for every 150 she invests. So 16 over 150. And still X over $7,350. So how much should she expect to get if she does this?
So is it like
16 times
16 times
7,350 equals 150 times X.
So would you divide it by 150 then?
Yes. So 16 times 7,350. Divide that by 150. And she should make how much?
$784.
Yep.
Ooh, I need to make that much right about now.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? But you got to have the 7,350 to invest. Okay. So that takes care of chapters 5 through 6 and a little dab of chapter 7 that you need for